Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everyone here today for this meeting. Today is June the 15th, and this is our Board of Commissioners regular session. And as always, we'll start out again today with a prayer and a pledge, and Commissioner Walker will lead us in the prayer, and Commissioner Green will lead us in the pledge. If you will, please stand.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all your many blessings. Dear Lord, we just thank you for another opportunity to come together. And I just pray as we handle the business at hand, I just pray that you give us wisdom and guidance to do what's right in your sight. Dear Lord, I just pray you bless every HC, every group and entity represented here today. Dear Lord, we want to just try to do what we can to be a partner and to be a helper, dear Lord, to help meet needs in our community, dear Lord. And I just pray that you would just continue to watch over our military men abroad and at home today, dear Lord. And we love you, dear Jesus. In your name we pray. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Your motion to approve the agenda for today?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion with one addition that we add sales tax on there.
Okay. We'll put that under other business, item E. All right. Okay, moving along next to the appointments. Item A would be the Marion Area Fire Service District. Oh, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second, and any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The Marion Area Fire Service District request, we have Mr. Corey Presnell, the Marion Fire Chief, here today with us. So, Corey, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. We come today like the other departments have, and with some needs and some requests. Our request is going to be for 2 cents, and I'll give you some backstory on that. In 2023, we hired an independent company, North Carolina Fire Chief Consulting Group, ended up being a 126-page staffing study by a third-party company. The recommendations that come out of that were a minimum staffing. The recommended ideal staffing was 7 per shift. Currently, we're at 4, and like I said, that was done in 2023. Since 2023, we've seen a 118% increase in calls. We're on track this year to hit 3,000. We ran 249 in March. In 23, we ran 1,376 calls, so over double that. So our request today is specifically for firefighter staffing. So it'll be 3 positions, 1 firefighter for each shift, with our 50-50 funding agreement. The city's pledged to fund their 50%, so 1.5 firefighters. So my request from y'all is 2 cent increase would fund the need for 1.5 firefighter positions. And that cost includes the benefits package, salary, turnout gear, radio, uniform, all the stuff to get them started and working. And that comes out to right at the 2 cent mark.
Okay. Questions or discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I will say that you have to have the men to respond, men and women to respond when the emergency call comes in. And I think it's very important that we try to staff any department in-house the best we can, and in the partnership, interlocal agreement with the city, they're paying 50% of the cost that would be incurred by adding the 3 new positions with full benefits and all gear, correct?
Yes.
So I fully support the need to provide quick response to protect life and property, and I'll be supporting this today. And we'll make a motion whenever you're ready.
And I would like to add, this request is, like I said, specifically for increased staffing. It's not for this it's not for this or that, it's directly for staffing, which not only helps the Marion area, the city, but McDowell County as a whole. We directly impact every other fire department in the county's ISO rating. We respond automatic or mutual aid to all those departments. And that's with these positions that allows more firefighters that can help them also. So that not only benefits our ISO rating, it benefits everybody around us. We've increased our response with EMS and are able to help them more now. So we're providing services that we've not done in the past, and that's part of the increase in service demand. And not only we know we need it, but we've had this third-party study that just backs up, and it's a 126-page report directly showing that. So that's my request, and the way I look at it as the fire chief at Marion, I want the best service for the citizens possible. I don't look at it as the city of Marion. I don't look at it as the Marion area or the Marion Fire Department. And I want the best services for all those citizens that we protect. And this is the greatest need that we have is firefighter staffing.
And y'all do, you run the first responder calls too, correct?
Yes.
So
We run all emergency medical calls. We're not currently doing the routine unless EMS specifically requests us to come to the scene. That would just increase that number. I don't know the exact amount, but it'd be a whole lot more than that. And with our staffing now, we couldn't meet all those, but we are going to all the emergency medical responses, rescues, wrecks, fires, fire alarms.
As far as backup or assistance to other departments, you have no limit on how far you would go. You would go to any department if needed.
Yes, that's correct. And actually, you know, we're big in the regional partnerships too. So like during the hurricane, we had people that come into McDowell County to help us. Polk County had the wildfires that were so bad. With some of that staff, and we were able to send a truck down there to assist them. So it's not only all the departments in the county. We try to be a regional partner to support everybody. They come and help us, so we want to be able to do the same too.
I think everybody we've heard from looking for an increase is looking for employment reasons. I do understand that the call volume is just getting higher and higher, and the volunteers are not, you know, you're not just getting an abundance of volunteers wanting to come in, so I also support.
Yeah.
How many volunteers, non-paid staff members do you have now?
We currently have 5.
5.
And that's kind of like across the United States, you see it as, you know, a more municipal department, you know, as you get more career staff, which you have to keep up with the call volume and the demand of the amount of calls that we run. It's across the United States. You see the volunteers just decline even further because the requirements are so much more. Honestly, the pager goes off so much, they get tone deaf to it. Like it just, 3,000 calls, like I said, 249 in March, you know, with all the sports, family commitments, all that stuff, there's just not any time left. And that thing just constantly going off, people's like, I just can't do it. So we have to supplement that, you know, make up for that with paid staff.
Let me be sure that the 2-cent increase on the fire tax covers this 50% funding for.
Yes, it does. It's actually, so I got it on that page where you can see the financial information there. So that cost, the cost with of just the salary is about $124,000 each. And then when you add in the necessary equipment to equip them, training, get them onboarded, what it actually costs is $141.
Okay.
So the total,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that total cost is $282 roughly, and then it's split 50-50 with the city and the county.
And the study, well, now.
No, go ahead.
The study done in 2023 recommended 7 per shift, and by adding the 3 additional full-time firemen, that would take you to 4 per shift, right?
We currently have 4
Currently 4 take you to
right
5.
now. It'll take us to 5.
Okay.
So that was a big thing I seen is when you had a published study like that, had recommendations on ideally where we should be. That was my pursuit of this. I actually wanted to pursue it last year, but we held off. I talked with Miss Bell and the hurricane and all that stuff. We decided to hold off to this year. But as the fire chief, I feel like we need to work towards that recommendation. I know that I don't think any of the county or the city could fund this year to the 7. So I'm just trying to move that needle to get closer to that recommendation.
And the board, I'll say this, that for sure, as a member, and I know every member feels this way, that any fire department that comes before the board with a request always has a definite need for the increase, because the board will not approve frivolous increases. I mean, if somebody does not provide justification why they need the money, I feel certain that it wouldn't be granted. So I appreciate all our fire departments and City of Marion Fire Department too, always giving us data to back up and justify the merit of why you need the increase.
That number, 118% increase over the past 3 years, that's a large number. Is that actual calls that are responded to?
Yes, those numbers are what we responded to. There's a few. I mean, it could be off just a couple, but that's pretty close to the exact number, about 118%.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion, we approve the 2 cents requested that would provide for 3 new firemen to get the shift to 5 firemen per shift.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Madam Clerk, let that show that it's a 4-0 vote.
Thank you. I appreciate your
Thank
support.
you.
Would it be, and I didn't mention this earlier, item C under other business related to Drexel, would it be okay with the board to handle that now since it is involving the city?
Sure.
Thank you. City Manager Ayers, who's here, along with the mayor, of course, reached out last week about an opportunity that's been presented with the Drexel property. Again, for people not familiar or forgotten, the Drexel Heritage Furniture Factory, we'll get into all the history of it, but the city and county have an interlocal agreement, if not shared ownership right now. It's owned by the city, and it's a long story, but the county has a 50% interest in the property, of seeing that property redeveloped and put back in productive use, preferably with private investment in there. And so the city has been leading the cleanup for about 3 years or longer with EPA. And so as it's starting to move out of the cleanup process, the city and county both are working to identify what's the future. And so the city has had and you've been informed of this, of course, public input session. There's been community input sought, but we're also looking at opportunities for planning, if not development. And one opportunity that is presented is from it's a federal grant actually, but NCDOT has made city and county aware of a planning process that would evaluate the site, or at least part of it, for they call it transit-oriented development, but essentially a passenger rail station for WNC Rail. So it would look at that, the viability of having a rail station there, and then private development that can be adjacent to that, that would be beneficial to the community. And so again, back to Mr. Ayers in our conversation, the request before you today is to support the city applying for it, since they are the owner of the property, but to go in 50-50 again on the local match if no other funds could be found for that, and the county's match out of that portion would be $20,000. Since it's federal, application. I would imagine it would take probably just a year for it to be awarded. And it, yeah, a future obligation is an obligation. But if it were to happen in the coming fiscal year 27, we would have the 20,000 handled in our economic development line item, but it might be a fiscal year 28 item that we would need to account for it. But it seems like a good opportunity to.
And it's, I feel like it's a decent investment for both city and county, so.
I'd
what's the
love to
pleasure,
see,
board?
I'd love to see the passenger rail service return to McDowell County, to the city of Marion. It means bringing people here to spend money, and we need it. We need the sales tax off of it. We need the revenue. I know it would take time, but in the future, we need that.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion, since funds have been identified by staff, so there's no, in light of the tight budget we're reviewing currently, but the funding's there. I make a motion we approve the participation, local match, share, split 50-50 as presented.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion.
And I will concur with Commissioner Green that that would be a home run to have a depot over there and passenger rail through West North Carolina. That would be tremendous, and so I hope that happens sooner than later.
Well, it's happening all around us, and I'd hate to see it bypass us.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show 4-0 for it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, fellas.
Somebody needs to look at property to put up a rental car facility, because once they get off that train, they're gonna need a car to go somewhere, so. Just an idea out there.
We've got a good transit system here in the county.
This is true.
$5.
All right, let's move along now to item B, which is the human service update, and we have Miss Sarah Brewer here with us. Sarah, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Good morning, Commissioners, Mr. Wooten and Ms. Robinson. Thank you for letting me come today. As you all know, today is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and I want to say thank you to those who were able to join us at the courthouse this morning in order to just take a moment to recognize the vulnerable adults in McDowell County. Just a couple of things that we're working on with the Human Services Department for adults in the community. We have recently developed a multidisciplinary team for adults. This is a group of law enforcement officers, emergency service staff, our adult protective services team, folks from the state, some community partners who help support vulnerable adults in the community. And we come together to talk about problems and things that we're worried about in terms of keeping adults safe. This is something new that we started that we're looking forward to. We will meet monthly to talk about critical cases and hopefully problem solve and triage those cases that we're worried about. Also tomorrow, we are meeting with the state for our state certification site visit for our adult day health program that we are helping to license and we will oversee. That is an adult day health program that has, I know the county's been working on that for a while. And so we're really excited to have that site visit tomorrow. So hopefully we can move things forward with having a facility in the community where adults can come for the day and have the care that they need and give their caregivers a break. So we are looking forward to that. That's tomorrow. And just looking forward to the work that we're doing with the adult services team in particular in McDowell County. Just a great group of folks, and we're working really hard to keep adults safe in our community. So any questions about those things?
What time is that meeting?
1 o'clock tomorrow.
1 o'clock tomorrow. And where is it?
That is the old hospice building that I believe it's Fleming Avenue. I could have that address
Airport
wrong, but
Road.
Fleming Avenue.
The team that you, for adults that you have brought together, can you go into a little bit of detail about how that will help our community partners also? So I know, being a part of the board, I know how it's going to help, but if you can explain just you know, knowing that law enforcement, EMS, DSS, agencies, care coordinators, like everybody's kind of dealing with the same client sometimes, but that.
Absolutely. And so what we decided to do was to bring this group together because there are sometimes adults that we just don't know what to do, how to help support them. Sometimes law enforcement maybe will pick up someone in the community who has severe mental health problems or a disability. Sometimes they pick up the people that we have guardianship of. And so it's a group that will come together and will triage these cases. Any service provider on the team can bring forth an adult that they're worried about. We're going to give probably a week for everyone to kind of do some research about that person to see, you know, if there's services that they've had or if there are things that we've tried in the past or what current providers are working with them. Has law enforcement had any encounters with them that we need to know about in order to help the person? And we will come together and discuss those cases. We hope to have about maybe 4 or 5 each time we meet, in order to maybe provide better outcomes for those adults in the community that we're worried about, or maybe problem solve something that we haven't thought in the past that may help support that person. It's just kind of a way to bring everybody together in order to maybe have a different outcome with the folks that we're worried about. It's something new. We haven't ever tried it before, but as Commissioner Garner said, there are times when, you know, we've tried things to help support these vulnerable adults that, you know, we just haven't worked. And so we want to come together to try to make that process better for vulnerable adults in the community. I hope that answered your question.
I did. Mm-hmm.
And you also have the MOU, or if might be in the next thing you're talking about, but you have the MOU with DHHS.
Yes. And did everyone receive a copy of that? And are there any questions regarding that this month?
Move that we approve the MOU.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to second. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 4-0 vote, Madam Clerk.
Well, with the summer months coming, I thought it'd be very appropriate to have our supervisor over the emergency assistance programs at our department come and speak to you about the programs that we have to help folks in the community with heating and cooling assistance. So at this time, I'll introduce Ms. Donna Wilson.
Good morning. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the energy programs that we have to offer at social services. We have 2 different ones, the CIP, which is a crisis intervention program, and also the LEAP, which is a low income energy assistance program. The purpose of these programs are to help eligible households manage their heating and cooling costs, to prevent utility disconnection and heating emergency, also to help support families, seniors, and individuals with disabilities, and promote safe and stable living conditions. The first one I want to talk about is the LEAP, which is also the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. This provides a one-time vendor payment to help eligible households. This program only assists with heating. It doesn't help with cooling, it's only heating. And this is available during the months of December the 1st through March the 31st, or until our funds are, we have used all of our funds. December the 1st starts for ages 60 and older, or for the disabled that gets help with adult services, and then it opens January the 1st for everyone. These payments are made directly to the energy provider. The year for 25-26, we received $274,950 for this program. And we didn't quite use all of it. We used most of it, but we still had a little bit over that the state took back. The eligibility requirements, a household must meet the income guidelines that are equal to or less than 130% of the current poverty level, or if they have someone age 60 and above, the income limits are 150% of the current poverty level. Applicants, they have to be responsible for their heating costs. The priority is given to the elderly or the disabled household members, and we also have to have documentation of their income and identification. So for that program, the yearly amount that They can get a benefit amount, but it depends on the type of the heating source, their income amount, the household size. They can get between $300 and $500, and that's just a one-time thing that they can get during the winter months. The next program is the CIP, or the Crisis Intervention Program. It provides emergency energy assistance from July the 1st through June the 30th, or until funds are exhausted. And for the year 25-26, we received $209,330. We have used all of that money as of June the 1st, so right now we have no funds that we can use for the crisis program until we get funds again, normally July the 1st or maybe a few days after that. With the crisis program, it can help households that experience a heating or cooling crisis, and they get a $600 yearly benefit amount. This can assist with utility disconnection notices or the lack of fuel. And that is considered kerosene, propane, fuel oil, that type of stuff. Also, it can help with air conditioners, but there are certain requirements for the air conditioners that requires a home visit before we can say that they're eligible for that. And payments are made directly to the utility vendors or the fuel providers. Some examples of energy crisis: a utility shut-off notice or a past-due bill for their electricity, a no heating or cooling source available, an empty fuel tank, and health or safety risks due to the lack of energy services. The application process, they can be submitted to social services. They can do it in person, they can do it online or by phone. They have to provide their income, their ID, and their utility information. And the household for the CIP, they can be income guidelines that are equal to or less than 150%. So it's a little bit more of an income limit than the LEAP. And also for CIP, there is a resource limit. For age 60 or older, it's $4,500, and all other households is $3,000. So applicants are notified of approval and denial. And the benefits of this program: it reduces the risk of utility shutoffs, it supports family health and safety, it helps stabilize low-income households, and it strengthens our community and well-being. If anyone has questions, they can contact the local Department of Social Services, or they can also visit the North Carolina DHHS or McDowell DSS website for applications and updates. Do y'all have any questions for these programs?
One question, you mentioned it was the LEAP, we had to give money back to the state.
Mm-hmm.
How much do we have to give back?
I think we ended up giving about $20,000 back of it.
Okay,
We didn't
so,
use all of it.
and that was for, I think that, I hate to give money back to the state, because they like to take it from us, and I want to keep all we can get. I would like to see next year, and y'all do fantastic, by the way, I'll just say that, I'll preface what I'm saying with that, y'all do fantastic to start with. But anyway, I would like to see us maybe partner with the senior center to use a list of people who utilize that building, and make those people aware of that, because I do not want to give them a dime back to the state. I want to keep it here in McDowell County.
Can I ask a question, Ms. Wilson?
Yeah.
Are we allowed, I know some programs we have, speaking of senior center, we're allowed to use some of those funds to do outreach, advertising, whatever you want to call it. Are we allowed to use any of the LEAP funds? Is there any set aside for like a billboard or direct mail or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay.
And you know, you've got a great relationship with churches too. Go with your senior center, churches who have older people in their churches. I mean, let's get it out there and distribute it.
And the state, since COVID, they have also did the automatic payments for like the seniors, the 60 and older. They have did automatic payments for them, so they haven't had to come in and apply. So. And a lot of people, if they, they'll get the LEAP, but if it's not enough to cover their fuel costs, they may want to wait and do something in the summertime with their CIP money. So.
Well, y'all give great advice over there, so y'all can help them out and guide them the right to it. Great, we're ready to go. I feel certain of it.
All right, thanks for your
Thank
support.
you.
and
Thank you for your
program.
report. Very good. All right. Let's move on now to item C, which is the 2027 budget public hearing. We need to go into public hearing mode. Do I hear a motion?
So maybe.
Hear a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are now declared in public hearing.
And before you
Mr. Wooten.
ask for any comments from the public, I'll just, again, state for the record, counties and cities are required to have a public hearing before the adoption of their budget, according to North Carolina Budget and Fiscal Control Act, which is General Statute 159. And so, as I said last Monday night, you don't have to adopt the budget today. You've got up until, I guess, midnight on the 30th, but wouldn't recommend that. But you cannot adopt a budget until you've heard from our public. So it's an opportunity for folks to express their thoughts and feelings about it, and you can incorporate that into the budget or not. I did mention last week too, I don't think we had any written comments come in from anybody specifically about the budget, or we would get those to you. So.
Okay. All right, we will start out with everyone on the right side. Does anyone on the right side wish to address the board concerning the budget for 2027? Is there anyone on the left side that wishes to address the board? All right. Do I hear a motion, we go out of public hearing?
So moved.
I hear a
Second.
second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are out of public hearing mode. Okay, Mr. Wooten.
We can roll into item A under other business, if that's okay.
All right, let's go ahead and do that then.
Budget discussion for next year. Like I said in the memo, now that the hearing has been held, we need you to make some decisions, either now or again up to the 30th, on what you would like included in the budget. Just as a reminder, the budget, we had a workshop the week of right after Memorial Day, Tuesday evening. I presented the budget recommendation based on additional feedback from that workshop on May 29th. We had discussion about it right before our regular meeting last week, and we're leading up to today. And so I've heard different things from all of you individually, and then last week some discussion in the workshop, and then I think in the regular meeting as well. So some of the things that I need guidance on, and somebody might want to make a motion right now just to shut me up and move on, but some of the things I've heard comment on of looking at perhaps changing from the recommendation was adjusting the cost of living adjustment that was recommended for staff, adjusting the school and college increases, and adjusting the per employee per month health insurance set aside. And when I say adjusting, I mean reducing, to be more specific.
Now, you started out, when you presented, you had two, which was your recommendation? You had two on there. The one you recommended 1% COLA, 1%.
No, sir.
He started out with one.
Started out with one.
So when we had the workshop, at that point, the purpose of that workshop was to say, I am not, I think I put that in the memo or something, I am not able to meet what I think are your goals with the revenues we have. And so even with the revenues, the current ones we have, and I think we're trying to work under, I don't think you want to do 1% COLAs or 1% school increases or whatever, but I think I call it like a last draft or something. Presented that workshop, had a 1% school and college and employee COLA and a few other things that I said, I don't think I don't really like it either, obviously, but all those things. I don't think you like these things.
Okay, that's all I need.
Right.
I want to
and
make sure
so
that's.
the feedback at that point was we really don't like it, and so the recommendation that was presented here on that Friday was the 2% of COLAs and school and everything else. And then the feedback after was your discomfort amongst members of getting to that 2% without additional revenues, having to use fund balance appropriation to get there. And I've looked even since then, many of our county peers, we don't have to do what the other 99 are doing, but sometimes I present you what they're doing for edification sometimes. Most of our peers appropriate fund balance. Some, a scary amount. A county about twice our size, which can make a difference. Their appropriation was about $16 million. That can be, our finance director might not like the term, but it might be like a budgeting gimmick. They might think they can either have revenue
in next year.
right, more than they're budgeting, or they might plan to freeze positions sometime during the year or expenditures or something in order to not really be spending the fund balance and spending it down.
If they make it up in the next year, it was just a wash.
Right, it's just, like I said, it's just a number on a piece of paper. But we don't have the confidence at any sort of level to say it'll be fine. I don't want to sit up here, and Ms. Bell doesn't want to sit there and say, one number we had was $922,000 of an appropriation at one point, or it's in there right now still. For either one of us to say, it'll be fine, we've got it. In order to get it, we would have to make sure we have more comfort with our revenues to say, well, we have very conservative budgeting and estimates, and we'll be okay. I don't have that confidence. I don't think she does either. Okay, sugar and no. To where that appropriation isn't at that level or somewhere close, so it wouldn't possibly at all be a budgeting gimmick. And so, again, that's a weird way to put things, what our peers are doing, but and again, just because somebody else is doing something doesn't mean, well, it's okay. That's their situation, and they've got their own things, and we're having our own discussions here, so just for discussion. But so on the revenue side, so we've talked about expenditures, you know, whether we're able to meet COLAs in school and college adjustments and health insurance like we would want. On the revenue side, you've made it clear certain things are off the table as far as, you know, no tax rate increase. The 56.75 is what we baked in. There was a discussion about solid waste availability fee that was considered and voted down. And so one is not technically a revenue, but if you'll bear with me, I kind of consider it one, but it's not. Two items that are still there and I need direction on. So I need direction on the revenues we just touched on, but also expenditures we touched on, the revenues as well. I've talked about a vehicle tax that could or would be implemented that would go towards every registered vehicle in the county that would generate revenue. For the rest of the fiscal year, it would only be able to go into effect in January. It would generate about $167,000. If you don't want to do that, I'll say it's fine. It's fine. I work for you guys at your discretion. That is 167. That's in the recommendation. That would have to be made up either by a cut or revenue, whether that's appropriation or something else uncomfortable. So that's one. The other, I need direction on, again, today or by the end of the month, is the early payment discount. That is for people that pay in July and August, that 1% discount. If it was eliminated, that would, it's not technically revenue, but anyway, it would generate $185,000 by having it eliminated.
What is the practice in the state of North Carolina regarding the county offering an early discount if you pay in those months?
We have looked, the Association of County Commissioners, they do a really good study of, they call it a budget and tax survey. It comes out every January. They do not track that. We've looked at this before. It's kind of up and down. We didn't seem to find anybody that had one over 1%. But in the counties that we were able to get a response of, and again, this has been about 2 or 3 years ago, Ms. Ongefray did like an informal poll. It seemed to be about half and half from the responding counties. So I'm not saying 50 do it, but I think she had about 30 respond, and about half of those 30 were still offering one, and half weren't not doing it. That tends to be, not always, and that I'm generalizing, for people that have escrow property. So if they have a mortgage companies tend to pay in that month to save, obviously, there. A lot of your larger taxpayers, Baxter Healthcare, for example, they usually pay at the end of the year, fiscal calendar year. And many people do because they tended to realize they can draw more interest with the money sitting in the bank than by paying early. With interest rates being what they are in savings accounts over 2 or 3%, if it were to sit in the bank account until December or the first couple of days in January before it becomes delinquent. And we even still have people that will pay it delinquent because they can still make more money in a savings account than our delinquent fee. And it's kind of strange, but say if that discount and the vehicle tax were eliminated, you know, that's $350,000 we'd have to find somewhere else.
I'll go on record and state that as far as the early payment, it's a bill, and it's great if we can afford to offer that discount, but with what's going on with Raleigh, and then certainly in Raleigh, and then with the cost of goods and services being up, and cost of fuel for our county vehicles, and I right now would agree with your recommendation to eliminate that. The $7 vehicle fee, I'm not going to support that at this time. Here again, I'll tie it to the fact that you've got cost of goods and services are up, and you know, it's just tough out there.
I would agree with that. And also, I may open up another can of worms here, but I'm going to. I don't think I was on the board when an agreement was made, and let me preface by saying I think our sheriff's office is doing a fantastic job. They have requested additional positions. I was not on the board when the agreement was made about the collection of jail revenue where we house federal inmates for a certain amount per day per bed. And that is a revenue generator for the sheriff's office. But that money, my understanding is, sits in our general fund. And it's my understanding that there's about 2.2 million sitting there right now. And I think that we need to, and I would like to see if there is a agreement on paper, I would like to see that and have some discussions with the sheriff's office about the use of that 2.2 million.
There's not an agreement. If there is one, we've looked, and I'll call it the arrangement goes back to 95 or 6, but again, prior searches have not turned up anything. So that predates anyone here on this board or at this table.
And I think we need to have some discussions.
No disagreement. So as it relates to the budget itself, on the two categories, and you may want to split out different things, but I mean, we've got time. I don't want to rush you into anything, but the clock is ticking somewhat, if not a lot.
You still looking for direction on the eliminating that early payment? Is that what you're talking about?
I really need it all. I need direction on all of it at some
Well,
point.
there's some more that we haven't addressed as well. One thing was the tipping fees. We need to address that today as well.
So, yes, sir. One item, and I have a fee schedule in your packet. One item that is not in the in your draft budget ordinance. It's in there, but there seemed to be some amount, or maybe a really good amount of consensus of having what I would call private residential haulers pay the tipping fee at our scale.
Mr. Wynn, I'll go on record right now and state that that's a for-profit company, and they're making profit like any businesses out there trying to make profit, and they're getting a free pass. They need to pay their share to cross that scale.
I thought we'd been pretty clear on that.
That was pretty clear.
Yeah, so, yeah, and I certainly feel like and I consider that commercial waste. Any commercial waste, no matter who it comes from, across our scales, there should be a tipping fee for it.
So that's a plus on the revenue side. I think that was about $76,000. We looked at that.
And here again, like Mr. Green, I hope they do tremendous and make profit, but, you know, they're utilizing a landfill that goes in the hole every year. I mean, it's people, you know, before I got elected, I would think, well, we pay our tax money, and that takes care of that service, but it doesn't fully cover it, is what you tell us, and which we see. And they need to pay what rightfully would cost anybody else to go across that scale.
And I'd also like to add that I think that we need to look at city and municipalities.
You can look at it whatever you want. And I'll just refer back to some discussions we've had about the availability fee. It could, if that were to happen at a future time, you might have to kind of give and take on charging municipalities because of certain fee situations with that.
But I would concur with Commissioner Brown on that too. I mean, if they're...
I would recommend a little bit more study on that one, but the private seems to be a lot more clear regardless. But there's special carve-outs for municipalities if that fee were ever to be implemented. Can I ask?
Well, I will go ahead and state my opinion on the vehicle tax, the $7. I would not be for that. I am still for the early payment discount because I feel like there might possibly be some of the older people that are on a very strenuous survival mode right now, I guess, because of the economic problems that they're facing. So I would be for leaving that alone right now. And then, of course, certainly push for the tax at the weigh station for the private owners that are profiting by that business.
May I ask on what I call the discount and the vehicle, can you vote on those two, just to kind of like we did on the solid? I'm sorry to keep pointing, Ms. Garner. It's her motion,
I
but
think we've still got mixed motions all across the board on some of this, so I don't know if we can or not. We can vote.
on at least to kind of whittle down the list.
I'll make a move that we eliminate the 1% early payment discount. That is an immediate $185,000.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. 3-1, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. The vehicle tax, we handle that one as well?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Do I hear a motion from the board?
I'll move that we do not implement that at this time.
Second.
Got a motion and a second not to implement the $7 vehicle tax. Discussion.
Yep, let me go back just a little bit and be very transparent. Our current property tax rate is 0.5675, 56 3/4 cents. We just increased the fire tax for the people in the Marion area to 13.64, which actually makes the taxpayer paying a property tax rate. It's not stated that way, but it adds up to that of 70.39. So whether we state that we're raising property taxes or not, that's essentially what we've done, even though we call it a fire tax. So I'm not in favor of putting any more burden on the taxpayer.
So, we have a motion and a second of, not adding the $7.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that's a 4-0 vote.
Would you like to address the expenditure side? Or before we do that, you want to do the private hauler as well, and then move on?
I think so. I think so.
I move that we levy that fee.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on that. Any discussion?
And this is for the private haulers to pay when they go to the scales.
Yes,
Tipping
ma'am.
fees, yes, ma'am.
You know, I have mine picked up, as I've stated before. I have mine picked up by a private hauler. Cost me $25 a month. Personally, if he has to go up on me a little bit to cover that, he has to do it. But I just think that if I take my own trash down there, which I have done, even though that I pay to have it picked up, if I take a day and take it down there myself, I pay that fee. But yet when he takes my trash, he don't pay nothing. Just don't make sense to me.
Okay. So we then voted for that.
Did you have the vote?
No, we have not had the vote. We got
Okay.
to move in a
We
second.
got a motion and a second. Okay, all in favor then, say aye on that. Any opposed? So that's a 4-0 vote for that as well. Okay, let's try to catch up with where I'm at. Next, Mr. Wooten.
On the expenditures.
Okay, the expenditures.
So again, what was in the May 29 presentation, call it like the 222, the 2% COLA for employees, and then the 2% for both the school and the college, and then the other add-on that I've heard differences of opinion on was what was in the presentation was $1,000 per month per employee. And I've heard suggestions of dropping that down to like $9-10 a month, again, looking for cost savings. So, I don't know how you want to do.
You're getting a lot accomplished by just breaking it down by this, and this. I think you're moving forward with.
It helps, be very clear about it.
I'll make a motion that we approve a 2%. Is this, you gonna handle it this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's up to you.
I make a motion we go ahead and approve a 2% COLA with the desire that we'd love to do more. 2% to the school system, 2% to the community college, and we go in let's see, what else we need?
That was for the insurance.
And reduce the amount, and we appreciate Allison, she's trying to get that amount per employee up to where it would cover, and we don't have to dip in during the year to cover the cost of the self-insurance. But right now, it's tough, and I'd say we reduce that to 910.
Okay, we have a motion then on those three items, and do we have a second? I will second. The motion.
If we, so to do the two and even with the insurance reduction, do math in my head, which is scary. Going from 1,000 to 910 it's roughly 400,000.
That would have to come out of fund balance?
No, well, we'll get to that in a second. If your deficit starting off today was around 800,000, roughly, that was what, if you remember last week, we talked about a roughly 800,000 and some change of a fund balance appropriation. And it could be a lot more, it could be a lot less, depending on where your comfort level is, of course. If your goal was to get it to zero, it's going to be very hard to do it by keeping the 2, 2, and 2. I'm not speaking out against the 2, 2, and 2, but I'm just saying, are you okay with that? Because if you reduce down, let's just say we cut it in half by cutting down the insurance allocation. So let's just say, and I can get the exact number to you, but you're roughly about 400 and some change. Just say 450. So
At
the vehicle,
2%, right?
At 2%. So you've reduced that down to around 450, but then you take away the vehicle tax, and that adds about 167.
$7 per car, right?
So you're kind of doing math as you're running here. And this is making the sausage, everybody. So it's not always pretty. And so you're going in, I'll call it the wrong direction. But then you take a little bit off for the private hauler fee. So we're maybe still gained about 500 out of that, but when it all the dust settles at the 2, 2, and 2 and the 9, 10, you're probably still going to have an appropriation. And I just want to make sure the four of you are okay
Mr.
with
Luke,
that.
could you do this? I mean, I'm not going to, I mean, I don't think that I'm ready to vote for a budget
Sure.
today. So
And we,
with all the vote-a-rama we got going on, is what I call it, vote-a-rama, you know where they do that?
right,
Vote,
the
vote, vote.
Congress kind of
So
thing.
with all that going on, why don't you get us, once we get done voting here on the different items, just get us a new update showing where we're at and show it 2, 2, 2 and then 1, 1, 1. And then that way, I mean, we voted for a 2, 2, 2. The 1, 1, 1 just be for informational purposes, but that way we can see it and we'll see how far we are from being
That helps.
We've not voted.
What we
for
don't
the-
need.
we've
You
not
haven't voted
for
yet.
the 2, 2, 2 yet. We're still
We're still in
In
discussion.
discussion. So I would I can use a calculator and use my head all day long, but to your point, I would like to get that direction on that side of things and come back on the 30th and say, this is what you said you wanted. And there might be other things. You can be here all day if you want to. but-
Because y'all need time to look at it. I mean,
Right, 'cause
we're just voting in here
You
today.
don't
need
want to
time.
approve something like the actual budget based on what this is. I mean, this is very helpful, but scribbling down things and doing the best we can isn't what we want. It was never gonna be the recommendation. It's direction, but if you wanted to approve the budget, we would throw out the stop sign, because we would need to get a new document in front of you.
I was ready to second your motion up until we reduced that 1,000 to the 910. So, with that motion in the second, I'll just let you know, I'm gonna vote no, and stick with that 1,000.
You're gonna pay it at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
What-
mean, Alice,
what
did we
about
discuss
revising
the
it?
last time it was 1,200 we normally? So going to 910, it'll look like maybe when if the budget gets approved to dip into the fund balance, it's one amount here, but wouldn't it just be later at the end of the year more?
Would you revise that motion to the 1,000?
No, y'all vote it down. Because see, right now you're paying 800, you want to go to 1,000, but 1,200 is the goal, right?
Right now, I amended the budget to $1,200 and some dollars in the year
Per
we're
employee.
in now.
Mhm. Right.
And the year before, we amended to $1,300.
So we would have to come up with that money eventually.
You would hope you make it up during the course of the year, but y'all are pretty conservative in your budgeting, so probably wouldn't be able to make it up. And you're right, we're going to fund balance.
You have a motion and a
So,
second.
okay, that would be, talking about going into the fund balance, that would be above that, what was that other figure you had on the 2, 2, and 2?
So after all, today, you'd be in the 500-ish range of an appropriation to have the 222 happen.
Okay. All right, I made the second then on it, and so we'll go ahead and do a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
No?
2 for and 2 against, Madam Clerk. So it's a wash on that one today. Move along to the
Take
next
other
one.
motions if you wanted, but it's up to you all.
I don't think you're going to change any minds.
No, there's no point in, I would
I mean, I made it
concur with
abundantly-
Lynn on his thoughts on that, but that would still push us to a 2-2 vote, I'm afraid.
Could we meet in the middle, 950 or so?
Aren't you supposed to be getting numbers and getting back to us, or or can you get the numbers on?
What I don't want to happen is be here on the 30th or whenever and say, here's a number.
I'll make a motion that the only change in the last motion that was made would be the 950.
Would you like to? Okay.
Sounds like we're at a cattle auction, don't it?
So the 222
The
and the
222 is the
950,
950, yes.
is that a motion?
I just made that motion. Do I hear a second? All right. No second, we're dead again. Does anyone else have anything, motion they want to make before we move on?
I already made my motion, it was voted down, so. I think
Okay.
everybody knows where I stand with that, even the community, so, I mean, I still stand with the solid waste fee, but that was voted down, so.
The household fees, what you're talking about,
Mhm.
yes.
Move on item B for
All
now.
right, let's move on to item B then, the Fonta Flora Trail Project.
We're going to go back in time on this one, back before Helene, if you can remember that. You had a presentation, I think Judge Hunter was here, and who was our trail coordinator at the time, Amanda Finn. You endorsed at that time participating in a project with the town of Old Fort and the Tourism Development Authority to further extend what is to be the Fonta Flora State Trail eastward from the park that has been built there. In the meantime, the Friends of Fonta Flora State Trail, they just broke ground, I believe, for what they're calling Phase 2. which goes from the park up to Curtis Creek, and then this would be Phase 3, which is essentially the bridge over Curtis Creek. We received a $500,000 grant last summer. We didn't apply for the grant, which is unusual to receive a grant you didn't apply for. It's never happened. The best I can understand is that the person writing the grant, our contracted person, accidentally put our name as the applicant because she was working on one of ours and she put our name on it. Long story short, the notification came to us. We could get it moved to the proper entity, being the town of Old Fort, if we needed to, but we haven't taken that step. We haven't taken any steps because we've tried to figure out whose grant it is, who needs to man it or operate it, administer it, better word, and then who has the capacity to administer it. I don't have the capacity. I often act as a grant administrator and try to do other things. I don't have the capacity to do this. I hope you understand that. The town does not have capacity. The Friends of Fonta, Flora State Trail has capacity. And so what is in your memo there is a proposal that we contract with funds that are already in our budget, current and proposed, to for the Friends of Fonta, Flora State Trail to administer the grant on the behalf of the town, TDA, and the county. The county would receive the grant, be the fiscal agent for it. We would still commit to the grant match that was committed to 18 months ago, and then we would move on with it. So we would have an interlocal agreement with the town to receive their funds, to spend them on the project, and TDA, I guess, perhaps. We would have a contract with the Friends of Fonta, Flora to administer the project, and we would receive the funds and build the thing and move on.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve the staff's recommendation. Here again, tough economic times, there is no new money other than money that's already appropriated that's there to cover our share of that. Make the motion.
Second,
Discussion.
and that money is coming from
The local match from
other
those-
grants.
Mhm, yeah.
Okay.
Other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 4-0. Okay, thank you, Mr. Wooten.
We're down to D.
Let's move down to administrative and budget items.
I'll go quickly on those. I know it's getting late. There's a Babe Ruth All-Star gate fee waiver. Mr. Kazee reached out. We typically have a fee that we withhold from any gate collected at our ball fields for our own expenses. The Babe Ruth organization has asked if they could retain 100% of the fee, because in order to have these kids participate, it will be over $20,000 of fees for uniforms and different things. And so they're asking to hold on to it for their expenses.
What's the recommendation of,
I would go along with it.
You recommending doing it?
Yes, sir. It would
Okay, I
help
make a
them out.
motion we do it.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
If you look at the most recent list of the number of kids that are able to participate in those games, it's worth it to our
I think you got
kids.
22 teams in the All-Star
I mean, they're doing really well.
right now, 22. Mhm.
The next item is a building inspection fee request from England Builders. You have a copy of an email. There was some timeliness for one of their recent applications. And again, we've talked about working on timeliness through additional staff and process improvement. And so I would recommend that we grant the fee adjustment.
Mr. Chairman, make a, oh, go ahead, Lynn.
Move that we grant that request.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then
Opposed?
lastly, you have some
Okay.
budget amendments and one project ordinance.
Move that we approve the budget amendments as presented.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Mr. Wooten.
Then you have the sales tax item, Mr.
Sure.
Walker.
Yeah, let's move down to the item E, which is sales tax item that Mr. Walker wanted to.
Sure.
put on.
Yeah, the board voted recently, and I supported that, to have the sales tax put on the ballot. And you know, after that vote was taken, and hearing people and doing a little research, that there has to be, and Ashley mentioned this, there has to be an adoption of resolution that we're not voted on yet to officially put on the ballot in November. And timeline, you know, we're getting ready to hit July. So there's 5 months that of education that would have to take place, and we did that once before, and we weren't successful. I think, looking back on it now, I think that needs to be third-party driven, because we cannot spend any money as a board on you know, advocating for this, advertising for that, and so I think that in review, I think that we always need to be, you know, open to looking at decisions we've done in the past. And I personally, for myself, think that this needs to be third-party driven. And if we have a third party that would step forward and say, we're going to fund it, we're going to push it, we're going to educate the voters on it, then I think that that's a better model to try to have success in that happening. Because I think right now that it's not going to be successful. Based on, and I say that based on this, with the current economic situation the way it is, and with especially, you know, we're talking about revenues that we're trying to find, and that's a source of revenue. But with what's going on in Raleigh right now, who knows what they're going to do. If they go and vote and you know, our board has pushed tax reform through Raleigh through resolutions to our Senate member, our House member, and everybody down there, and we fully support tax reform. But if they hold completely to a revenue neutral mark, that means that, and I talked to Senator Daniels about this the other day, that that would mean no new revenue at all to operate on for the next 4 years, other than what a discovery that would take place and or a new house build, something to that effect. So it's pretty tough. We don't know what they're going to do, and it sort of makes me pause a little bit and reflect and think a little bit. And so I think for myself, I want to make a motion today that we not have that on the ballot until a third party comes forward that steps up and says, we want it, we're going to push it, we're going to advertise for it, and support it. I mean, that's, to me, it's the only way it's going to work, to have a third party come forward and do it, because we can't spend a dime, we can't advertise, or anything like that. Is that right, Mr. Wooten?
You can use staff time and money to educate. What you can't do is, like, I think you used the word advocacy. So you couldn't put up billboards to say, vote for this, it'll be great. I don't know how you could do one to educate and not be accused of advocacy, but we talked about that last week, where any one of you, staff or anybody else, could go speak at a civic function, Rotary or something, and say, this is what this money would be spent for, here's some reasons. But then you kind of have to stop. You can't say, get out and vote, because that's advocacy. So it's a fine line. But to your point about third parties, we've done a little bit of research. Most people, you know, have somebody pushing it. Rutherford, I've talked about recently, and nearby had organizations associated with their school system help really push for it.
So I would make a motion that until we have a third party step forward that is willing to do that, it's not on the ballot. And that's the reason, that's the justification for my motion.
We have a second. For discussion.
So the answer to not doing the household fee last week was we were going to advocate for the tax increase, and that was going to bring in revenue. But now you're saying not to do that, still not do the solid waste fee, and we're not back to bringing any more revenue in.
Let me bring up a point of order. This motion has not got a second yet.
Yeah.
So
Oh, he said discussion, I'm sorry.
No,
I
don't-
thought you said
I don't think
discussion.
I said discussion, maybe I did, if I did, it's
So
a
let's-
mistake. As I said, does anyone second it? And, that's what I was asking, if anyone seconded the motion.
so far, no.
I'm gonna second it for discussion. Now, I believe that, I certainly believe that, it was, the right thing to, seek the, sales tax, because, Commissioner Green made a point to me last week when we were sitting here, that it was not something, that's not like us raising the tax, that's giving the people, the public, the privilege and the right to make that call, whether they do or do not want a sales tax. That is not the Board of Commissioners doing that. That is giving the public the right to do that. However, since that time, in my time around out in the field and around people, I'm getting a lot of negative feedback about it. Everyone that I've talked to says that they don't want it and won't vote for it. That is, leads me to believe, and then also you can see stuff on social media, but that leads me to believe that it will be voted down anyway at this point in time. So,
In contrast to that, folks that I've talked to think it's the most fair way to tax. That it's not just the taxpayers in McDowell County that would be paying the bills, but it would be everybody that's coming in here to spend money for whatever, that we would gain that revenue off the sales tax. So I'm maintaining my position. There's people that will say no on Facebook, and they won't come in here and say anything. So I say leave it right where it's at. Let's put it on the ballot and let the public decide what they want to do.
any other discussion?
I mean, I voted for it because I had to vote something in order to bring in revenue, because, again, we're not voting for the solid waste fee, the household fee. We gotta bring in revenue. Do I think the public's gonna vote for it? Not that I can see. I mean, I've only had one, public opportunity to speak to, the community since then. And when I sat and talked to some people at the library, they were not very for the sales tax increase, because some people will pay more than $10 a month in that increase if we did the sales tax increase versus the solid waste. So I don't know that people will vote for it, but I was for it that day because I needed to vote to help the community, to figure out a way to bring in revenue so we can balance our budget. But if this board doesn't get out and let everyone know why we need it so badly, I can't see people going to the ballot and voting for it. But I also don't know getting a third party to do it. I don't know how that works.
I see it as a dead end personally. I voted for it in the beginning, would love to say that I feel confident it would happen, but I do not see it, feel at all confident that it would happen this November. I just don't feel that it would. And then with that feeling, I will hold to my second on the motion.
Would you be willing to do it next year?
Absolutely. If things look
Or what makes the difference?
if things look different, with the, I don't know, we don't know. We just have to see next year how it looks.
If I may interject, from a technical, legal standpoint, you're only able to do those votes when all the polls are planned to be open, so it'd
Yeah, it would have to
be
be
March
28.
of '28.
I don't know whether it ever pass in this county, I don't know.
I do know we need to find some way to bring revenue in, though.
Did you send us a worksheet of the counties that have implemented that. Did you send us that?
I think I gave you a number several weeks ago. I did ask Ms. Montgomery to, I'm just going to have this on the next agenda when it was going to be talked about, but prepare for Western region counties, starting Alexander, Allegheny, Ashe, Buncombe, Catawba, Cherokee, Clay, Gaston, Graham, Haywood, Jackson, Lincoln, Madison, Rutherford, Surrey, Swain, and Wilkes. So if you understand geography, those are mostly, if not all, west of I-77. And these I asked for funding strategies, why they were going and asking for it. And I won't read all of those again, but Alexander, their stated reason was diversity, funding streams to reduce reliance on the property tax. Ashe County had to do with the hospital. Graham was doing renovations for a courthouse. Lincoln was public and charter school capital improvements. Madison was a high school football stadium, so there you go. And so most of them, Wilkes is reducing reliance on property tax. So you see a little bit of that, which has been some of your motivation here, I think. But some of it has been, hey, everybody, we want to build a high school football stadium. Like I said a couple weeks ago, we don't want to build a high school football stadium, but if you had something like that motivated people, that would probably get them out to vote for it. I don't know what that motivator is here, other than diversifying our income types, to Mr. Green's point of everybody passing through, you know, buying a hamburger or staying in a hotel or whatever, to help them, have them help pay for, you know, the fire service, the EMS, and the schools, and all the things that you're charged to pay for. So
This is probably going to sound like a smart aleck, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's amazing to me that folks will say yes to a football stadium, and they won't say yes to a better way to get rid of their trash. That makes no sense to me.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor of Mr. Walker's motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
No?
So that, does that mean that we need a resolution to go ahead and put it on the ballot?
Yeah, that's what we
legally
need.
you would need one.
That's what we need.
We adopt the resolution.
Motion to adopt resolution. Do I have a second?
Second, for discussion's sake, we already said we already voted we were going to do it, so we have no other choice but
We have to do a resolution.
Oh, well, second.
So you're seconding the resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye. I don't,
Okay.
then can we go back to discussion for a second?
No, you have to
Okay.
finish the vote.
We have to finish the vote. We have, okay, all opposed now?
No.
No.
How can we oppose putting it on a resolution and put it on the ballot when we already voted last week to put it on the ballot?
We can come back together again before the 30th when all 5 of us are here.
Okay.
You have until the end of August
I was just confused on how
to adopt them.
that was,
It's a procedural step for the State Board of Elections.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do have a closed session for personnel.
Do I hear a motion we go into closed session pursuant
So
to
moved.
NCGS 143-31811?
Get a cup of coffee.
Second.
For goodness sake.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion we go out of closed session?
yeah,
Move, yep.
so you don't have to say that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are out of closed session. Do I hear a motion we adjourn for the day?
Move, yep.
All in
Second.
favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.